For over 30 years, George has been analyzing NASA images and uncovering what he believes is compelling evidence of intelligent design of structures that may point to an ancient Martian civilization with direct ties to Earth's own mysterious past. George, welcome to Beyond Belief.
Well, thank you for having me here, Jimmy. I'm honored to be on your show and look forward to our discussion today.
Well, it starts simply. This is a very intriguing and compelling subject, Mars. But what inspired you to get into the subject?
Well, I graduated high school. I was a bicentennial class, 1976. So NASA had just sent up their Viking 1 and Viking 2 to take pictures of Mars. So I was, just graduated high school, 1976. They were supposed to land in the Cydonia area, and they ended up landing in the Utopia area. And when they were taking pictures, they had that weird picture that kind of looked like a face. NASA had a press conference. It was on television. They said they found an odd structure that looked like a human face, and everybody was kind of stunned. And then it was like a week later, they had another press conference, and they said we had taken a second picture of this, and it was just a trick of light and shadow and nothing to be concerned of, no face here. Let's move on.
It certainly got a lot of people interested in Mars, didn't it? When that picture first hit, and I saw it myself in the newspaper, we all wondered if it was what we thought it was. Before they did the second press conference, where did your mind go? Did you go straight there that it is possible to have an ancient civilization on Mars and start carving faces on the tops of mountains?
Well, like a lot of people, I was intrigued. I thought this is something to look at. But then, of course, we all believed that NASA, they'd never lie, and they said, it was nothing. And I kind of forgot about it for a long time until I think it was in the early 1990s when they were going to go back to Mars, and they were going to take a new picture with the Mars Global Surveyor camera. And that's kind of reintroduced my attention to, Mars again.
25 years of collecting images for the book. How did you do that? And what makes the cut for the book?
Well, I've been doing this for almost like 30 years. I've started doing it really in depth in around 1991. And I met a guy, William Saunders, on Richard Hoagland's Enterprise Mission Discussion Board. And we got together. We had a lot of interest. We were finding some interesting stuff on Mars. We decided to put a book together, and we had our first book published, I think in 2005, called the Cydonia Codex. A couple of years later, 2009, we produced a second book. They were produced by North Atlantic Books, again, dealing with all these odd structures on Mars. Subsequently, we wrote a paper about, which we'll be talking about later, a parrot formation. And Bill and I got the attention of the Society for Planetary SETI Research. We became members. My co-author, Bill, he's a geologist. My background, I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist. I went to art school. I'm a sculptor, a painter. So the reason the Society was interested in my background was because I had a visual eye. Geologists, they're looking at structures on Mars. They're only looking for, the shape of the geology. They're not looking for anything that possibly could be artificial, because that's not even in their concept. But my schooling, my training, I know artwork when I see it. I know architecture when I see it, and Mars has it all over the place.
Isn't it interesting? You and I have the same background, so I just want to make a comment on this. Art was my background too as well. And artists do tend to look at things a little bit differently. And I have always been intrigued with NASA's releases of images. I would go and look at them, and I've talked about this a lot on the radio, that they're seeing, and on my shows, that there are things I would walk to in these images. Like there's something there. It's interesting. So I found myself always on top of NASA's latest release of photos, and I would pour into this. Did you do the same thing and cover NASA's next release of photos and just look at every single one, because there's thousands of images?
Yeah, they take so many images every month, and it's a little difficult to travel and get into the archives. But once you master the technique of looking at the NASA photographs, you can spend hours and hours. You can get lost, down the rabbit hole looking at NASA photographs. And like you said, with our background in art, also we probably learned about architecture in art school. So we know what we're looking at.